So I am Maud Lebas, sorry, and I'm the South Asia area manager for OMNES Education. Maybe we met in the past when I was representing Grand School of Business. So I've been in this position of helping students choosing opportunities in France for more than 7 years. 3 months ago, I chose OMNES for quite a lot of reasons: the quality of the program, the fact that it had not only management, but also engineering, political science, international relation, and creation as a content, for its focus on employability. And you will see, how much we're talking about here, and for the affordability of the program. We have quite a lot of programs that are in the range of 10 to 11,000 euros a year for masters. Options that a lot of students could afford, I believe. So I suppose that most of you know about why it's a good idea to study in France, so I'm not going to spend time on that, but really speak about the group and the advantage for for you to work with us, and for our schools to work through the OMNES group. So we do have 15 schools, 19 campuses in France and abroad. I will really focus on French school today. Overall, there's 40,000 students, quite a lot of nationalities that are represented. India is not exactly new, but a little bit new for the school, but very important. We really believe that we can, we have prepared, in fact, for the past 3 years to be ready for the Indian market with English-speaking programs of quality that are properly certified by one of the different organisms in France. Okay, so all the programs, the master programs that we offer, that are in the list that is provided to you, they are properly certified and they ensure the 2 years post-stay visa post the program. Okay, we have 10,000 partner companies for 40,000 students, so that's one company for 4 students. No one else is having such, an amazing level of corporate relations. No one else in France. So we're very strong on that aspect. And even though we do not promise to place the student, I think you can easily imagine that we do a lot of activities. It's in the range of 100 career events a year, of course, in the different campuses, but most of them, they will be in France, quite a lot in the Paris campus, but Lyon, Bordeaux also have their share, and that's where most of our programs are anyway. We have 6 incubators. We also want our students to become, people who create jobs themselves. So there's a very strong emphasis on pushing entrepreneurship. Quite a lot of alumni around the world, of course. We do have campuses in all those places. So Paris and 3 places, different places in Paris, all very well located. We have then Bordeaux and Lyon particularly. You have a few, just a few programs that are offered in English in Chambéry, but Rennes and Beaune, not much yet. And then you have Monaco, which is a different place altogether. So I'm not going to tell you about studying in France, but little word on Monaco in case you're considering it. We have only 1 university there. This is a place of, let's say it's a place of glamour. So a great place to study luxury, but also finance, because in 2 kilometers square, that is the size of the country. In the south of France, you have 3,000 financial institutions. So it's a great place to study finance as well, sustainability, but also sport, because they organize quite a lot of quite exclusive and internationally renowned sport events. Very safe place. So for bachelor, we have a bachelor of 3 years in the university, and that's in management. This is a super safe place to go. So for some students, that would definitely be a nice place to start from, to start that journey to Europe from. It costs 15,000 euros per year for this bachelor, and you still live in France, so you have a lower cost of living this way, but you're beneficiating from the wonderful environment that Monaco has to offer. Not going to go further, just on the way. So we do offer, as I said, in creation and communication, that's Sub de Pub. I'm not going to focus on that today. We have in management, ESC, INSEC, University of Monaco. Today, I will tell you more about ESC in particular, a little bit about INSEC. All right. We have political science, HEIP. I'm not going to spend much time on it. And engineering, the School of Engineering, ECE, in Paris. Okay, so I'll start by telling you more about ESCE. I know we don't have much time, and I'll be happy to answer any questions if you have. So this is a school we really would like to push this year, because we believe this is a school that has so much to offer for students. It is the School of Foreign Trade. It's located in Paris La Défense. You have a view of their campus here. This rooftop that you see in green, we are right in Paris La Défense. This is a space that is available for students, but also for the 40,000 companies that are surrounded, that are surrounding the campus. Because Paris La Défense is the first corporate hub in Europe, the fourth biggest in the world. And yes, there are 40,000 companies that are nearby. The first one, when you are on that rooftop, is TCS, which is having the headquarters over there. But you also have Goldman Sachs, Barclays, Société Générale, BNP if you're into finance, quite a lot of industrial company, Capgemini for the IT sector, Deloitte, KPMG, etc. I mean, all the big companies, they would have a headquarters around here. And we have made the campus very, very welcoming for those companies, because as you can imagine, this is quite unique as a place, this rooftop there. And so very attractive for those companies to organize after work. So it is, a way we are maximizing our relationship with companies. That's very, very true for ESE. So a fantastic campus, as I said, with a 200 square meter incubator over there, extremely well located. It's also the school that the French students choose when they know they want nothing else than an international career. And 40% of them, they start their career abroad. There is no other schools like that. So that means the French student would be extremely attracted to mingle with the international students. So that would create an experience that is even more strong for the students. We also have quite a lot of international professors. 65% of them are international. But what is particularly special about this school is that they are the only school in Europe that has made the effort of getting itself accredited by Montessori. And Montessori is normally known for children, little children, because it's all about being student-centric. The kid is choosing what they want to study that day, etc., etc. So this the whole principle is to be student-centric, to be experiential by design. And this school made the effort of getting itself accredited accordingly for the higher education part, and have the professors regularly trained to improve their pedagogical skills. We happen to be also sharing the campus a little bit under. You have HEIP, the School of Political Science and International Relations. So the school being ESC, being very much international by design, we also beneficiate from the geopolitical courses that comes from having the proximity with the school. And we do welcome on a regular basis, ambassadors of different countries, past, politicians who were, in the creation of Europe, the European Union as it is, past prime ministers. I mean, things like that are organized regularly on the campus. So you can imagine how unique this is. We do offer a 3 years bachelor that costs 9,000 euros a year, so quite affordable, and where the students are really taken care of. And the students have the possibility to travel abroad. We have 170 partner universities around the world that they can choose from. So that's for the bachelor. We have the master in management, of course, which for us is an integrated master. So we do have French students that would have started right after 12s directly into this program, and they spend 5 years with us. But there is, of course, a possibility to join directly in the 4th year. And there is no need for GMAT or GRE for that for us. And that would cost in the range of 12,000 euros a year. What you will probably propose the most are our MSc programs, which are costing less than 10,000 euros a year. Okay, so it's the least expensive in France at the moment. And that's not because it's a cheap place, it's because they want to be, attractive for students, as we are new to this market, I would say. So that's an advantage for the students. So they can choose between MSc in International Business Development, and here we're talking about those people, preparing people for negotiating deals, the same as the Rafale deal, for instance, for people who would really be discussing to the level of, okay, who is taking the risk of the possession of the goods at different time of the sales, going very much into detail for complex international deals where many exchange rate, for instance, would be considered. So we're talking about something very concrete and highly valued. So that's one. We have international supply chain and purchasing. Same idea. I mean, being able to discuss really the level of who is in charge of the goods at different time in the movement of those goods around the world. This is an important aspect on top of all the data management elements that should be part of it. International corporate finance, but that still includes Bloomberg. We have a Bloomberg trading facility on campus. So someone who would want to work in a banking area or in other aspects of finance could still choose this program, but it is more corporate finance, traditional finance that is covered there. And then international marketing, that includes growth hacking and social media intelligence, of course. So it is traditional marketing with digital marketing in there. Okay, so for quite often so through programs that are offered in ESCE, and the students have the possibility to get either this program in 2 years, that if they have they are just they just have a 3 years bachelor, 3 years after 12. So they would have to choose the 2 years program, but that would cost them not even 20,000 euros. Okay. And then we do have for students who have 4 years bachelor or 3 years plus a 1 year diploma, or 3 years of a bachelor plus at least 3 years of relevant experience, they are allowed into our 15 months program, a fast track program, where there would still be two specialized academic semester and the internship. If they do 2 years, one internship is mandatory, but you can do 2. If you do the fast track in 15 months, one internship of 4 to 6 months is mandatory. And that would cost only 10,440 euros, which is 9.5 like INR. And you still get the 2 years post-study visa because those programs are CGE certified. Okay, so that's for ESCE. All right, of course, this is all in English, obviously. Yeah, I mean, I could tell you a bit more about the content, but I think I said quite a lot. I will go to INSEC now. It's our biggest school. It's pretty well known here in India. And we have 4 different schools within INSEC. So one is INSEC Bachelor. We have a 3 years bachelor, which is approximately the same price as ESCE. We believe that the students would have potentially a better experience if they go for ESCE, so better stick to that for the 3 years program. Otherwise, INSEC BBA program, okay, so that's a 4 years program. And bachelor can be joined directly in 3rd year, by the way. So they could do just the last 2 years and still get the degree, or they go for the 4 years program. Every year they do an internship. By the time they're done, they have a minimum of 17 months of professional experience through internship. It can go up to 22 months of internship. So really a strong type of profile. And they could get into just the last year of master after that, if they want to add a master to their program. This is an RSCP program, which allows the possibility to go abroad for 1 or 2 semesters. So it's a wonderful, option that students could go for. And the cost is between 11 and 12,000 euros per year. Not each year is the same. So you'll be in the range of 46 to 48,000 euros in total. Okay, so that's the second option in INSEC. We have INSEC Master in Management, INSEC Grande École, so 2 years program with quite a lot of options for specialization in 2nd year. The 1st year being generalistic, with a lot of activities like the night of the crisis management, a week where they go for to learn about public speaking in a theater, a national theater in Paris. Indeed, this program is offered in Paris, the east part of Paris, a beautiful campus there. And that MIM, which you can choose instead of the MIM from ESCE, costs 13,590 euros per year. Okay, so that's an option. Otherwise, we have INSEC MSc, so it's no longer MBA, by the way, it's MSc only, specialized masters. Programs that are the ones that we are proposing in India in English, they are all RNCP accredited. Okay, so that explains why the rule that I explained for getting into the 2nd year of master at ESCE, it happens also here. So if someone has 3 years of bachelor, they have to do 2 years. If they have 3 years of bachelor plus 3 years of relevant experience, then they can go directly in 2nd year. If they have a 4 years bachelor, they can go into the 2nd year of the program directly. I mean, that's the way it works. INSEC has been awarded for the past 2 years the award of being the most socially inclusive school in France. And we are not a public university, so it really comes from their capacity to propose models of studies and prices that are affordable and are otherwise more easy to access for someone who needs to have a part-time job on the side. So here, this is the way most of the program at INSEC MSc would be organized. Generally, the 1st semester is the semester of class, so over 6 months, the student would have class most of the time, because there are some exceptions, 3 days per week, okay, which means 4 days per week are free and opened for students to do a part-time job if they need, and it's easier when you have full days available for a company to consider you. And then the 2nd semester is anyway for internship full-time. Okay, and that's true for both years. So you really have the possibility to rely on a part-time job if needed on the side. So this is okay for students that are pretty autonomous by there's young people who you believe once they are there, they're not going to be needing so much of pampering, because they would be spending less time on campus than in ESC, for instance. We will have those programs in financial analysis in English, HR only in M2, so only for people with 4 years of bachelor. In digital and e-business, so it's a lot of digital marketing that is included, marketing and brand management, We will have it in luxury and brand management, in wine, the business of wine, so wine and spirits or wine marketing, international management, which is followed by international business management, or a program that is specifically for people who are engineers and want to have a commercial engineering course. What did I miss? I think I covered most of them. And so the cost will be in the range from 12,440 euros to up to 16,000 euros a year, depending on the program. Okay, so luxury tends to be on the higher side, along with wine. International business starts at 12,440 euros the first year, and the second year will be at 13,840 euros. But we provide the list with, that calculation for you to have a look, and so that you have the information up front. So it's a very nice option. ESC is much less expensive and as strong, and really a good school for someone who is a bit new to who do not have the maturity to be on their own a little bit, even though of course there is support in INSEC. But there's a difference between being 5 days a week on a campus and just 3 days otherwise. So that's INSEC and ESC. Now I'll come to engineering. We have one school that is mainly in Paris. We have one program in English that we propose in Lyon otherwise. And ECE, École d'Ingénieurs Engineering School, is a school that was created in 1919. So quite a long time ago. So we have a lot of alumni, and a lot of people have worked in various technologies throughout the years. Always very much ahead of the technology, but it's basically digital and energies that we're covering. It's one of those schools that has an integrated master. We are known for that, and so we've been regularly in the top 10 of the best post-12 engineering school in France. So great school, as you can imagine. We also have even our bachelor in the Edu Universal as the best program for AI, cybersecurity, and second for web development. So it is a very strong school, very strong in this capacity to train and support, employability of students as well. 98% of our students, they say they have a job before graduating. Okay, so it's a great place to study. Also a bit new to India, though we have a few students here and there every year, but we want to be more known. So we have 3 Master of Science that are available either in first or second year in the field of sustainable energy futures, data management and AI, and cybersecurity. Okay, so here students who have a 4 years bachelor, provided what the students have learned in those 4 years can match the content of the first year, they could join directly into the second year. So they would have 6 months of classes and 6 months to do an internship and a graduate project that would cost them just 1 year of studies in this case. They still get the 2 years post-study stay visa because those programs are CTI certified, so properly certified. And that would cost only 11,000 euros in this case. If they come for 2 years, that's 22,000 euros. So we do have that in this format. We do have that also in the format Grande École, okay, which is more or less the same price. So we offer the energy, data management, and AI cybersecurity through the format Grande École, and cloud engineering or digital industry. Digital industry would be IoT, all the AI for to support manufacturing. So when you have someone who comes to you that would like to do robotics, digital industry can be something they could consider. Okay. So yeah, that's what I wanted to tell you about those programs. I'll tell you a little bit more about the application process, and I guess if you have questions, that would be the right time to ask as well. Huh? So it's normally pretty easy. Please don't mind the cost that I mentioned here, because you know, and that includes the French-speaking program. So we do not have bachelor in English that are at 5,000 euros. Okay, so everything goes online. I've shared with Joining Campus the new application form that you should use, no longer the old one, and it takes 3 minutes normally if you have all the documents to fill it. So we need CV, passport copy, or at least an ID proof if the passport is yet to come. We need all the academics from 12th onwards. And the reason we ask for 12th is that we can remove the English test in the case of students who have done property studies in English, you know, in high school. And got a decent grade in English, so 75% at least. And just an MOI for bachelor is not enough, because there are places where clearly it's going to create problems, and particularly for them to apply for visa. This is what Campus France is asking. So we just apply the same rules as Campus France to maximize the chance for students to get the visa in the end. Okay, so so that's why we ask for 12s for India. And everything since then, we need a minimum of 55% of CGPA. Okay, that's for master, of course. For entering a bachelor, you need to be at minimum 75% overall. Otherwise, no, you're not going to be able to make it. Okay. So once the application is submitted, oh, sorry, I forgot to say, we need an LOR, we need an SOP. I mean, nothing crazy, CV, nothing crazy here, I think. So then it goes to the interview. So there will be an interview with the person who's going to be meeting them. So I have to tell you, it's very important that you put the right email address, an email address that the students would be looking at regularly, because every communication, including for the interview, would go there. Okay. So I realize very often that the phone number or the email address, the students do not have access to it, and that creates a lot of issues. So it's very important that you are careful about this. The way we work is that in 2 working days, the application online should be checked by our admission team. And I'm talking about working day, of course, weekends are not counted in there. And then for the interview, the school has 7 days to organize it. So it can come very quickly, and it's very important the students are aware that, therefore. I would be myself anyway contacting students from India, because we know that, you know, sometimes they don't look at their email properly, etc. But it would really help if you could make sure that they're aware of those timeline and what to expect. Because if they miss the interview, and we don't charge anyone here because you're getting your promo code, but that's someone we pay to have the interview with this person for 20-30 minutes, and this time is lost. So you know, when they miss an interview, reorganizing one, that's a cost for us, and that's not okay. Okay. I'm not saying we're not going to do it for good reasons, but they have to be a bit responsibilized here. And then, you know, we provide the decision within max 7 days. So I'd say engineering tend to be a little bit more towards the 7 days. For the others, it's really a question of 1 or 2 days generally. Okay. Once they have received a decision, that would be through an email, not necessarily the letter, and not yet. They will be asked to enroll. They have 2 weeks to do it by paying a down payment of 3,500 euros. Okay. And at the same time, they will be requested to decide whether they want to pay the rest of their year all at once before the start of the class, or if they want to pay it in 2 installments. So it's an option that they have. If they choose 2 installments, it's very clear they're going to be charged 5% more on the total tuition fees. So Yeah, so that's it for the what I wanted to tell you, but you might have some questions. No, nobody would have question. I think I've seen there was a few things in the chat. Okay, no, I'm not seeing. So if I can give a message, is that we really would like to see ESCE being much more promoted. And it's not because we want it more presented that we will take, whoever. So of course we want students to have a chance to get their visa behind. It is really a great school that we are proposing at a very, very interesting price. So it's really in the interest of the students to go for it. I see there are questions on the AI and digital course, so maybe I could show you the content of those courses so that you have a better idea. Let me get it first. Because I always find it easier when you have a look at the content of the courses. So the MSCs in particular, okay, 1 second, I'm going to share. Okay, it's not visible, so okay. Okay, do you see my screen here?
Yes, yes, we can.
Okay, so I'm sorry it's not very fancy, but at least you can see what is taught. So you have a first year where you will have all those courses, web technologies, advanced database, DevOps, because that's something that is important here, operating system, computer networks, sustainable. So there are always courses in engineering course with us that would include some management. Why? Because when you are an engineer in France, you have 5 years of studies. The way we prepare our engineers, that they would have gone through the different stages. So they would have been, say, I don't know, if we were talking about manufacturing on the line, if we're talking about IT, maybe, after 3 years of studies, there might be those people who are helping out, on BPO, the help desk for IT sector. The second year, they will be more looking at a program that exists and try to debug it. Okay. And the last year, they're taking a project on its own, and they are the one who code it, in full. So they will design it in full, and we expect them to be capable of taking care of projects throughout after once they are engineers. So that explains why management courses would be included in the program. So you have team management, budget management, project management, then specialization. We go back to see mathematics for data science, security and IT, network, a lot of machine learning. And you see again some courses that are management. And then they would do an internship at the end of the first year if they want. It's not a mandatory one apparently here. And second year, so for those who come directly there, you could have, for instance, I'm thinking of Bachelor of Engineering in IT or in computer science. It's possible that they would have covered most of what we said in the first year, particularly for the specialization. So they could eventually go directly into the second year to cover big data ecosystem, data energy with Spark, business intelligence, data analytics, real-time big data search and analytics, an advanced machine learning course, deep learning, ethic of artificial intelligence. Again, some courses that are general. And then they do, they have a project to do, they have their internship to do, and a thesis. So it's quite advanced. Okay. Cybersecurity. I mean, that's the kind of question you had, I think. Okay. Let me come back to the questions. You want to see the digital industry course, maybe? So let me show it to you. Good. That one requires to do it in 2 years. There is no way around it. The one that I'm talking about, digital and industry. So here you'll have IoT, you will have computer-aided design and manufacturing, industrial information system, lean management, quite a lot of programming, IoT, edge and cloud computing, industrial automation. So this is robotics basically. Robotics for the manufacturing department, digital twins, 3D printing, immersive technologies. Then the second year would have introduction to artificial intelligence, big data. So quite a lot of things. Python, I mean, yeah. Okay, cloud engineering here and something else. So DevOps, I mean, you have a bit of a content that resemble the data science one, but you have also, blockchain, data exploration, et cetera, et cetera. We do it in partnership with Orange, Microsoft, and Capgemini. And second year, microservice architecture, cloud development, multi-cloud. I mean, cloud plan. It is a very strong program as well. So yeah, these are the options. Let me see. Is there anything you want to know extra about those programs? Okay, so I see some question at least. Exact fee structure. So as I was explaining, so the MSCs for ECE, it's 11,140 euros per year. If you go directly to the second year, you only pay for the second year. If you go for the Grande École program, which is 2 years, there's no way around. We are at 11,490 euros. So not very much of a difference between the two. Both of them, they give the 2 years post-stay visa. I'm not sure what the visa interval means. Like how many years a student is going to get a visa. So you always get just 1 year from India, and you extend for the next years of studies that you have. And then if the program is properly certified, or there are some exceptions for that, but anyway, our programs, they are giving, entitling the students to get 2 years post-study stay visa. If the question is 5 years visa, nobody's getting in France 5 years of post-study stay visa for the sake of looking for a job. That's what I mean. Nobody. I know there is this rumor coming in. It is not the case. It's only 2 years, and it's already quite a lot. In fact, I would be ashamed if the students needed those 2 years already. So there is no 5 years visa here. Once a students have found a company to sponsorize this stay, they generally get, it's not guaranteed, but generally they get 4 years work permit, which they can extend, over the years. The 5 years thing, just to make it clear, it's something that existed already in the past, and it's for students who came back to India, but still want to be able to travel back and forth for business or tourism purposes to France or to Schengen. And that is still there for master students. So for our students who would have done master, they will get it anyway if they decide to come back to India. But now it's only been added to students that are coming for exchange program. That's it. Okay, there is nothing, no other, thing. When is the admission process going to start? It's already started. Students wanted to pursue healthcare management and mechanical engineering. Any alternative course we can suggest? For us, I mean, you have seen what we have. So mechanical engineering, they can go for energies. They could do data management, provided they are ready to do the 2 years. They could go for cybersecurity, provided they're going for 2 years. And they could go for cloud engineering or digital industry. Digital industry would make sense for mechanical engineering if they want for 2 years. So 5% extra for every course for 2 installment payment. Yes, we are trying to avoid them to choose this option. And obviously, yeah, that's not what we would prefer. Do we have courses for robotic science and aeronautical engineering? We do, but if it's pure robotic, pure aeronautical, we do have that in ECE, but it's in French. So we cannot propose it to you if you have English-speaking students. But for someone who wants to do robotic, every time I had students interested in robotics so far, the digital industry program apparently is very much what they want. Any specific admission requirement for computer and artificial intelligence programs? So yes, of course, we are looking at a little bit more in details there in the background of a student. So it tends to be a little bit more demanding in terms of requirements, but normally if you've done a you've done a bachelor that is scientific or engineering or technical, you are you should be allowed to get into one of our programs. For energies, if a student has done computer science, it might not make much of sense to go for energy program. But even if you've done physics or chemistry, then you could join the course of the course in energy futures, because there's quite a lot of those courses in there. Okay. Which engineering programs don't need French language? All the ones that I showed you about, in front of you. So 5 to be exact. You have for MSc source, the MSc profile, data management and AI. You have cybersecurity. You have sustainable energy futures. And then those 3 are also available through a format of Grande École. But only Grande École, you have cloud engineering and digital industry. So you have quite a lot of options. Anything else? Checking if new questions would come. No. Any early bird scholarship program-wise? So we had until end of February the possibility to provide those, not exactly early bird because, but we won't have it anymore. What we have now is for students who are choosing 2 years program, we could consider based on merit some scholarship. It's not going to be a lot because we are not starting at a very high price in the first place, but there are possibilities. Do you provide accommodation letter for visa purpose? So yes, but I want to explain you how that works for visa. So we can provide those accommodation letter. If you have current students for the spring intake, it is too late to use this. Okay, for the September intake to the 15th of July, I would say they could use that if they are applying for VFS up to the 15th of July. They could use that visa, accommodation letter that we have. If it's less than if it's after that, it's too close to the intake, and the embassy will not trust this document anymore. This is the biggest intake in the whole year, and they expect the students to have at least 20 days of a proper hotel booking to present to ensure that they're not going to be completely lost when they're not going to be living in the street when they come. So that's all I'm going to say. So we can provide it. I really, really suggest that to push the students to look for accommodation as early as possible, or that they start the application process for visa the earliest possible. Okay. All right. There are other questions. Cloud engineering after 12th is how many years and fees? So we do not propose cloud engineering after 12th in English. Okay, we have our integrated master that someone can go for if they speak French after 12th. Otherwise, they have to come for master only 4th and 5th years, or just the last year. Okay. Any scholarship program or exams? So I explained no exams. No, we are looking at profiles, holistically, and so that's why we need to see 12th certificates and everything since then, if possible, the way it's presented for visa, which is semester wise. because we need to see whether there were backlogs or not. Not that we completely are against backlogs, but we'll be looking at it in a responsible way. Okay. So scholarship, I think I answered. It's only happening after a person is admitted in the first place anyway. There's no need to discuss that otherwise. And it's not, first of all, we are not that expensive compared to many, many other options. So just not everyone would get one. And but there are some possibilities. When is admission process? Okay, I saw it. Can you name university accept below 55%, but not us? Voilà. How much total bank balance we have to show at the time of visa filing? So, I would be happy to do a session on visa in detail, but basically you need to have to prove that you can pay the tuition fees for the year, the full ones, whatever is left to be paid, and that you have the means for the cost of living for 1 year, which for Paris will be around 10,000 euros. For I think Lyon and Bordeaux, if you are, you should be around 8,000-9,000 euros, because these are places that are getting as expensive as Paris. So yeah. Okay. Can the students with 10 plus diploma apply for UG in France? At least they cannot go to our programs. And I would be really surprised that with 10 plus diploma, only a school would agree in France. You normally need to have a 12. This said, we are happy at master level to welcome students who have done 10 plus diploma plus the engineering. I've personally met a few of those students and accepted them in previous schools, and they were pretty good. The only thing is that they cannot prove their level of English properly, so we would expect students to present a decent English test, whatever it is, PTE, IELTS, no Duolingo, but all the others that are decent, we're happy with that. How about CVSC after the fees? So CVSC is a tax from the government. Okay, it's mandatory for not only international students, also for domestic students. So we do not ask for it straight away, but before they can join the class, they have to pay it. There is no way around it. So there's no engineering course after 12, none in English speaking, that in the English speaking medium of instruction, no. Not yet. Anything else?
Maud, like I think
Yes.
there is one more question, like 50% holder can apply for MIM program or not.
No, I'm sorry. It's very well, unless I say that because I have already pushed, in fact, last September for one student who had 48% of CGPA, but that was really an exception. And for which this person, I really made every effort because I believed in it. So he was recommended by someone who explained me the profile. I spent 3 hours speaking to the students. Once I got convinced, he went through the process. He managed to convince the school. And I called Campus France before he had his interview to explain why we had agreed on such a profile. And I'm very happy to tell you he got his visa, but this is not something we're going to do so often. And there were probably not good reason, but at least, an explanation. And we were convinced this kid would do very well with us. But it's just, they won't even be accepted in most of the school in India in the first place. So let alone getting the visa, good luck. So no, unless you are really you really believe in the person, and there are things you want to tell us to explain why you're pushing this profile. But yeah.
So Maud,
Frankly,
yeah, I think that you have answers all of the queries of the agents, and if they are having any further queries, they can obviously write to the counselors and the PRMs at Join Campus. And once again, I would like to just thank you for your time today. Thanks for a wonderful session and also explaining about the new engineering programs at EC school. Okay, so Thanks you for your
Thank you.
time and have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Janina. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye. Thanks.